So now we come to the mode of passion. Yesterday we did action in the mode of goodness. Yatu kāmepsunā sāhaṅkāreṇa punaḥ kriyate bahulāyāsaṁ rājasam udāhṛtam. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires, which is enacted from a sense of false ego, is called action in the mode of passion. Action in the mode of goodness, action in the mode of passion, action in the mode of ignorance. So as I explained, three modes are like an infection. Switch off the fans, both of us. So three modes are like an infection. And my original behavior is gradually lost. In mode of sattva-guṇa, person understands his respective position in the world as brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, or brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. That is, I said, like a chessboard, and he understands the situation and dutifully acts on that. I'm a Brahman, brahmachari, what I'm supposed to do. It is not by birth, sir, by your qualities. So how do we know? We can determine. If I have urge for knowledge, I am Brahman. If I have urge for power, I am Kshatriya. If I have urge for money, I am Vaishya. If I urge for sleeping, I am a Shudra. That's all. End of the day, what satisfies you? If end of the day you are very happy, I learned something today. And the Brahmana's quality are listed in the Bhagavad Gita. Samaha, full control of the senses. Damaha, full control of the mind. Tapaha, austerity. Shaucham, very clean. Shanti, very tolerant. Arjuna, very simple. Jnana, Vijnana, Astikyam, full of knowledge, full of realizations, and a devotee of the Lord. These are the 9 qualities of Brahmana. So a person will be trained into these qualities if he has Brahminical nature. He has urge for knowledge and is sattvic by propensities. Generally, they are seen in ISKCON Gurukuls. Generally, small children join by 5. At 12, 13, they know where to train. 6, 7 years, they get a real picture of the person. They get an idea. He's a very sattvic person. Can train like that. And they see, is a bit disturbed. Then other training has to be done. He can't be trained like a Brahmana. Even in the movement, because the devotees, all are not Brahmanic. Some are rasic, some are so tamasic, we don't admit. So this kind of behavior will be there, even among devotees. Somebody told Prabhupada, "No, Prabhupada, in our movement, all are Vaishnavas." Prabhupada said, "Yes, the Vaishnava is not a small thing. Vaishnava is a very big thing." Okay. So this is a very some thought. So now Rajaguṇa, when a person is influenced, what are the characteristics Prabhupada says? He works for great effort to gratify his desires. His very reason is working hard is to gratify his desires. What is propelling him to work? Yesterday we studied in a sattva-guṇa, what propels to work is the sense of duty. In Rajaguṇa, what propels a person to work is an intense desire to enjoy the senses. And modern civilization is in the mode of Rajaguṇa. Therefore, Prabhupada used to say this is a malady. Previously, if somebody had attained sattva-guṇa, he was honored. Sattva-guṇa is a post. It is a spiritual, not spiritual, material position of consciousness. But unless somebody comes to sattva-guṇa, he will not be able to enter Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the first symptom of somebody who is sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness is that rajas tamas should be out. That means laziness and urge for sense gratification. Bhagavad Gita is taja rajas tamo bhava. That should be out. We were recently reading, because tomorrow we have a discussion, hangout on the 6th chapter of 1st canto. Narada who meets the Lord. So Narada gets close. The Shalam or door can be closed. So Narada, what happens is that he instructed by the association of the great sages, was a small boy. He did not get lost into frivolous activities, and he did some menial service to the great sages. Okay? Actually, he was assisting his mother, some kind of a shelter. His mother used to do some seva. So great sages appeared, and they stayed there for 4 months. Previously, Chaturmasa was observed. Even now, some people observe. 4 months, they will not travel. Generally, it is a rainy season, just like June, July, August, September. It's a practical also. You can't travel during that time. They will stay in a place. And people used to take advantage. There is other used to request great sages to stay in their town that time. Thing is that Lord Chaitanya was requested by Venkatapata, please stay in my house for 4 months. People will say, please stay. You can get benefit of their association. So now what happens is that the sages are there, and Narad Muni for 4 months got a chance to assist his mother in serving the sages. But there were some qualities he was having. He was not into any kind of frivolous sports, even he was a 5-year-old boy. These are not common characteristics. They are uncommon characteristics. If somebody shows symptoms like that, we know that child is unusual. Generally, 20 years of life, Prahlad Maharaj says, are wasted by a normal man. Waste means pure, thorough waste. No use. Spiritually, no use. Correct? First 10 years is madness. Prahlad Maharaj says, madness means, except for the parent, nobody can find any meaning in that activity. And next 10 years is frivolous sports. Nowadays, unfortunately, it continues. But 20 years have no contribution to person's spiritual advancement. And the last 20 years also have no contribution, because person become invalid. A normal man, don't compare to the Acharya, a normal man gets into acute physical distress at that time. It's practically impossible for him at that time to make any tangible service to Krishna. Okay? If he is advanced well enough, maybe he will be able to still utter some names of Krishna, but otherwise he is in acute physical distress. And first 20 years goes in madness. So Bacha 60 years, 60 years. 50% of that, Prahlad Maharaj said, people sleep. Bacha 30 years, that goes into all nonsense activities. Where is my wife? Where is my child? And there is zero time for spiritual advance. Many people are calculated like that. Shankaracharya also said, what is the shloka of Shankaracharya? Balavastha. He says, when you are a child, you are busy playing. And then? When you are a young man, Taruni, you are looking for a Taruni, a woman. And then? Why you are Shankaracharya follower? Vriddhavastha?
Yes, Bhajagovita.
Oh, Bhajagovita. Vriddhavastha?
Chintasakta.
That's okay. Vriddhavastha. And old age, we are busy with anxiety. Oh, in general, old people. Hare. I remember one person I Hare, how many times I tell? I'm telling my that son not to do that. Hare, he is a 50-year-old boy. Leave him alone. I'm telling him, he is not listening on me. Hare. That's why, after 50 years, a person should become udāhṛtam. In a house also, 2 persons cannot run the steering. You are trained, and now let him run the steering. Correct? If you also try to hold the wheel, then what happens? Unfortunately, the house has to break. So son doesn't want to stay. I want to live a life according to way I want. So anyway, so this was Shankaracharya's story. It is so true today actually. So, and this is Prahlad Maharaj analysis of that 30 years, 10 years, very nicely analyzed. First 10 years, madness. Next 10 years, frivolous playing. Bacha, now last 20 years, gone in invalidity. Bacha 50% time sleep. Bacha 30 years, that boss is calling, this is calling, over. No time person. Correct? So actually life has to be very carefully organized. So previously an advancement used to be advancement in goodness. Therefore you see, whenever sages used to go to the king, even though king has a lot of opulence, he knows that is not the greatest asset. Greatest asset, materially. If you want to become materially happy, you should get sattva. Suppose somebody says, I don't understand God, at least become sattvic sir. If you want to be materially happy, forget spiritual. Even a society, suppose, in a society we go and they want to know, therefore I always teach them the sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Okay, at least please follow this karuna for you. You will look little peaceful. So when we talk about sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna, there is one more reason. Because we want people to come to the platform of peace. But even sattva guna is not the highest platform. Okay. Why a sattvic? Sattvic man is conditioned as such. See, tamasic man, his senses are there, mind is there, intelligence is there, soul is there, all switched off. This is from my college class, an excerpt. We put some hand in front. We get people like this. Nothing goes inside their head. That's called tamoguna. Rajoguna is slightly better because in this condition what happens? Person's senses are active and he has overcome lethargy. This itself is a great achievement in Kali Yuga. If you can do this, you have done a great achievement in Kali Yuga. You get up in time in the morning and you are fresh. Great achievement you have done. Correct? Getting up at, no, should be fresh. Fresh means, that's a brahmachari. Brahmachari means always fresh. One place Prabhupada defines. Brahmachari means is always fresh and energetic. That is brahmachari. That's student life, you should be like that. Correct? Should you know? So brahmachari, fresh and energetic. So that is why that came? Brahmachari sattva. Huh?
Rājasam.
Rajoguna we are talking. Huh? So anyway, so for song, okay, the greatest asset is therefore sattva. So you want to be happy, come to sattva. Okay? But so I was analyzing different modes, what happened. I was sleeping everything. Tamoguna, what happened? The body, senses, mind, intelligence, soul, all are switched off. Everything is switched off. So person becomes Rajoguna in next stage, his senses become very active, which he calls so-called smart man of today, but no sinful activities. Sinful activities means you go down to Tamoguna. He'll go to the. Why he comes to that? Because senses become so strong. Completely goal of life, mission of life, everything is, curtains are put. So one that is there, then just sleep. Nothing else is good. You give him 10 hours a person will sleep. Extra. That's like government officers you see. As if they have not slept. Go and meet them. Correct? They come by 3 o'clock, I think. One person in Vietnam who donated us this today. He used to tell us, Swamiji, before coming to temple, I used to work half hour. After that, I work 1 hour. Even 1 hour, they you see that in their chair, one towel will be there. Whole day, then nobody will be there in that chair. And sometimes evening they will come for half an hour, 1 hour, and then disappear again. But even 1 hour when he's sitting on the seat, so slow. By nature, people are tamasic. Therefore, Shastra says, I am not saying Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Kali Yuga people are all Shudras. And in Rajoguna, what happens? The private office, actually they are tamasic, but there is a fear. Therefore they work. Correct? There is a fear, therefore they are working. If the fear is not there, they will also become like government officer. Correct? There was one student of mine, I all remember Rahul. He went to his father's office, government office. Whole day he was sitting in his father's office, just sitting and watching what's going on. End of the day, father asked him, he worked for a private company, very smart person. So his father asked him, Beta, what difference do you find? He said, Papa, if I stay here, I'll go mad. And if you come to private company, you will go mad. He said, why? He said, what you do in 30 days, we do it in 1 day. Slow. Correct? So for serving Krishna, therefore, we should not be like government office. Correct? Because us actually, we have no pressure. So if we maintain our modes, I told you, just by being wearing sadhu dress, you are not even in Sattva-guna. You may be tamasic Vaishnava. All the 81 varieties of devotional service. Correct? That Prabhupada says 81. We are doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Arjanam. All you can do it in Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. You can do it either way. It is not that you have to do it in Sattva-guna. Okay. It is not that you have to do it. You may be doing it in the Tamoguna. Also, Hare Krishna. Tamoguna, Japa. You are reading a book. Tamoguna Shravanam. You are seeing Aarti. Tamoguna Aarti. Correct? You are offering Bhoga. There only is possible. And Rajoguna, Japa, you are chanting Hare Krishna. You are thinking, Hare, that girl I met yesterday was so beautiful. Rajoguna Japa. And then Sattva-guna Japa. It's my duty. I should do it nice. Hare Krishna. I have told Prabhupada. Prabhupada said you chant 60 rounds every day. That is the first instruction. I'll do it nicely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One is over. 107 more to complete one round. And 16 round to complete Prabhupada order. He's focusing on order. Correct? Somebody says to you, 20 times you write this. So you're busy. Okay, 3 times 18 more and I have to complete that instruction. Whole focus is you are doing any sadhana, you are doing on the order of the Acharya. Otherwise, why the number 16, sir? Why not 15? Why not 12? Okay. Krishna wants it that way. He wants to see that you are taken shelter of his devotees. Spiritual advancement, therefore, does not begin unless he takes shelter of Krishna's devotees. Because the spiritual world, Krishna is not alone, he is surrounded by devotees. So unless we know the culture, how to live with the devotees, we cannot enter spiritual world. You have to learn how to take shelter. That's very important. Okay. Therefore, we are saying, no, what it says at the end, Narottama. Radha Krishna, what is the last line? Full line. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
Dase Ramadasa.
Dase Ramadasa. I am servant of the servant of the servant. Prabhupada said, more you do like that, more you become advanced spiritually. When your desire comes in your heart, yes, I want to serve Vaishnavas, then you know you come with the right mentality. By serving a person, you can get his spiritual qualities. Therefore, we serve. If I can also get some eagerness to chant. If I can also get eagerness to hear about Krishna. If I also get eagerness to serve Srila Prabhupada, that is what you get. That is how it is. A mystical process. Nishtha prayasha vadresho nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naishtiki. The Bhagavad Bhakti comes. Nityam bhagavata seva, serving Bhagavata. Bhagavatas are two. One is book Bhagavata, one is person Bhagavata. Okay? So when you serve a person Bhagavata, means whose life is molded on the instructions of the book Bhagavata, then what happens? Then you get spiritual advancement. So it's also important. The taste of chanting comes when you serve this. Bhakti bhavati neshtiki. From it comes. The taste comes in. Because unless taste is there, mechanically you cannot chant. How long you will do it? 1 day, 2 days, then you will stop. Nobody can do it. Prabhupada said, unless the bhava is there to serve Krishna, these buildings will become bungalows or godowns. Unless the bhava is there. That is at least the bhava is a very big thing. At least the beginning taste. And taste comes when the mind is, first stage when you begin Krishna consciousness, what will happen? Tada rajastamo bhava should be out. Rajasatama should be out. That means the process has started. It's like when you take a medication, the first symptom should be fever should be down. Generally when you go for a doctor and take medication, 1 or 2 days you see generally that now the fever is down. Still doctor says continue the medication. Okay? The first thing is that rajastamas, which is agitating your mind, you should get peace of mind first when you take to Krishna consciousness. But you're not finding transcendental happiness now, but peace of mind. Some, just like Narad Muni, when he began the instructions of his, his mother died. And the sages went away, his mother died by a snake bite. Alone he was. But still he remembered the instruction of the sages. Let me take shelter of Krishna. And he started walking past so many villages and towns. Got exhausted man. He was very hungry. Sat down, drank some water, small wine, by the way. Felt the thirst satisfied and got some little energy. And as instructed by the sages, started meditating on the Lord in the heart. Tears started gliding from his eyes, out of affection for the Lord. He had heard them very attentively. That means, correct? The more you are submissive, more the person who has can give you. The download speed depends on how much you are submissive. If you are extremely submissive, Shastra says, Bhavamatra sadhu sange sarvasiddhi. In 1 second, full Krishna will be downloaded in your heart. Sarvasiddhi is over. Lava means 1/11th of a second. Just you met a great saint, and just by darshan, your full faith. And he should be a pure devotee of the Lord. You become a pure devotee. Full file is downloaded in 1/11th of a second. But if your submission is not there, then billions of years keep hearing no use. No use. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, you see, proper rights in the Bhagavad. This Gita cannot be understood unless you have faith, he says. At least theoretically you accept Krishna as a supreme personality, then begin reading Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says that. Otherwise, it's no use. You're not able to understand. Because it is a great mystery. It's a transcendental science. Know your mundane logic, know your mundane understanding. That can only pave the way. It's like I can till the ground by my logic. But then the seed is something else which you have to put. Therefore it is said, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Gata Bija. The desire to serve Krishna, initial liking for Krishna, I like Krishna, comes by Guru Krishna Prasada. It's a joint venture between Guru and Krishna. And then the Bhakti begins. And what is the symptom the Bhakti began? Tada rajastamo bhava kāmalobādayasche chete te anaviddam sitam sattve prasidati. Person feels very peaceful. Rajasatamas has gone. Tada. The previous shloka says, Shamradam sakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana videntastu yavadrani vidunoti surasata nashta praya shavadareshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki Tada Rajastamo Bhava Tada. So Shravana Kirtana is a process. And when we apply that process, what is going to happen to us? The opportunity is everybody's. Okay? You understand it, Krishna? Krishna is not forcing. Krishna doesn't force. Therefore, people who don't want to serve Krishna, Krishna, the material world is go, enjoy. He is not forcing. Krishna doesn't force anything. He's a gentleman. How can a gentleman force someone? But then spiritual world is different, material world is different. Suppose you request Prabhupada, take me to Krishna. You want to create a big embarrassment of Prabhupada? You say, Prabhupada, what kind of person you brought here? Actually, correct? Therefore, when Prabhupada said, at least chant 16 not properly every day. follow 4 regulative principles, I'll take you back to Krishna. That is his guarantee. If you do this, I'm not flattering you, Professor. You'll go back to God. He has to take you. He has to introduce. That's the way. Spiritual world may be introduction works. Somebody can, there's a job he gets, somebody can introduce. The recommendation works. That's how it is. Because it's a very personal word. You know? And even when you're paying namaskar, what do we do? Namo Vishnupadaya, what are you doing actually? You're introducing yourself to the Lord as a servant of Prabhupada. That is all it is actually. Okay? That is how it works. There is no other way it works. So anyway, so Tamoguna is very dangerous, Prabhupada used to always say, because it will lead to animal kingdom. Rajoguna, if you don't take higher association and climb to Sattva-guna, you will glide down to Tamoguna anytime. Because Rajoguna, person is doing sense gratification in a controlled way. But even on royal roads, there is a chance of an accident. Just like somebody got married, he cannot handle sex desire, he gets married. But you should know, he has not got married to enjoy sex. He has got married to give up sex. Correct? We should know the purpose for what it is. Just like here, some which temple they went yesterday? udāhṛtam. Huh?
Only way.
Some temple. Bhuta, the Bali. Now, you may say, why is the Veda, the system is there? Bali? It is there. Because some people are there, tamasic. Therefore, the Devi Puja, Bhuta Puja is for those people. Now, when the Bali system is there, you may say, why Vedas introduced? Vedas introduced that. He did not introduce to promote eating meat, to restrict it under some conditions so that person can forget it. So, person eating meat there should know that the goal of my Bhuta Puja is not to eat meat. Goal is to somehow slowly come out of eating. Correct? The essence you should not forget. If you don't, Rajoguna man in what he is doing, he is enjoying the senses under controlled condition, without doing sinful activity. Just like Krishna says, what is kama? I am kama. Dharma aviruddho kamosmi. That kama which is according to dharma, that is me. Okay? So in a married life I can enjoy sex. Be ready. You can again fall down to tamo. Why? Because on the royal road also accidents happen. So why it will not happen? You should understand the purpose for which the sex is introduced in married life, so that this person can, actually he should have forgotten. But he is not able to forget, an opportunity is given for him, rājasam. So by 50 years he should be able to forget. Okay? That is the purpose. He should not think the purpose is to enjoy. The purpose is to forget. Because anyway it's an illusion. In a controlled way illusion is given so that finally you forget that illusion. You got it? That is rājasam. Because Rishabhadeva is warning, Nūnam pramatta kurute vikarma yate indriya priti yapnoti. If sense gratification becomes the goal, what is going to happen? You will go mad one day. Okay? So we should understand it in proper way. So Rajoguna is the Maya media in between. Rajoguna, then we have to congratulate the person. He has given him lethargy. He is full day active, working very hard. Rajoguna symptom is he works very hard. But to achieve material sense gratification in a controlled way. Rasic man is also good in one sense because he does not do any sinful activity. Correct? Tamasic man is dangerous because he will do anything. He will do anything. Just like we have the example of Kamsa. He played the role of that Tam. He will do anything, killing children. Therefore, when Vasudeva said him that I will bring every child to you, so proper writes in the purport. A devotee, a great man takes any pain to keep up his work and do his duties to the Lord. Correct? And a madman can do anything to enjoy success. Just like a devotee can do anything to please the Lord, a madman can do anything to enjoy success. That's lies there. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.